Hello, and welcome to the first ever Well of Knowledge training session. In this session, we will be looking at Microsoft Teams. We'll mainly be focusing on text chat within Teams, and we'll cover team conversations, private one-to-one chats, and semi-private group chats. All conversations within Teams are threaded and persistent, making it easier for everyone involved to follow what's happening and refer back to the history of a conversation. This means you no longer need to wade through partially threaded emails in your overflowing inbox, battling with emails appearing in the wrong order. Within Teams, you can easily liven up conversations by injecting a little humour with GIFs, stickers, and emojis. In our next session, we will take a look at how you can have virtual meetings within Teams using video calling, with a far better experience than using Skype. In that session, we will also look at how you can access and work on files within Teams, and how you can access other tools and plugins, including Planner and OneNote. So let's take a look at Teams itself. Firstly, you may ask, what is a team? We've already created teams for each department for you. However, you can create separate teams for specific purposes. This means you can create project-based or topic-based teams that need input from people in different departments. When creating a team, you can either mark it as private, which means the team owner needs to approve every member, or you can mark it as public, which means anyone at Sadler's Wells can join the team just by searching for it. Naming a team, I would suggest making the name short but descriptive. You can expand further on this by adding extra useful information in the description box below. Once you create a team, you can then add members to it just by searching for their name. You can also invite people from outside Sadler's Wells to join a team just by typing in their email address, and they don't need to have a paid Office 365 account either. They can join for free. If you do invite an external guest, they will receive an email from Microsoft asking them to create a password, and once they've done that, they'll have full access to the team that you've created. If you have an existing team, you can add extra people to it or view who is a member of the team by using the Manage Team option. The owner can add members. If you think that you should be an owner of a team, let Service Desk know and we can add you. And as you can see, teams can have multiple owners, as well as several members and guests. If you are an owner of a team and realise that the team is no longer required, you should delete the team. This will delete all chats and files within the team, so please move anything you need to keep somewhere else first, or ask us for assistance. If a team doesn't have any activity for an extended period of time, the owner of the team will be emailed to ask if the team is still required. If there is no response, the team will be deleted automatically. This ensures we don't end up with hundreds or thousands of teams. So, when should you create a team? I would recommend that you create a team if a specific group of people need to collaborate on something over a period of time. So this would usually be months or years. If a group of people need to communicate short term, so weeks, days, or hours, and also don't need to share documents, I would recommend using direct private chat rather than creating a team. But I'll go into private chats in more detail later. Each team starts with a general channel, which every team member has access to. If your team is quite small or is about a specific topic or project, you can just continue to use the general channel, but you do have the option of creating additional channels if you wish. This can be useful if you want to have separate discussions on topics or projects that the same people need access to, but you don't want to create several teams with exactly the same members. Every member of the team can create additional channels in a similar way to creating teams themselves. If you are the owner of a team, when you're creating a channel, you can set it to automatically show in everyone's channel list. By default, your channel will appear in a hidden channel section if you do not select this option. A new feature is the option to create a private channel. This means you can have a channel that only a subset of team members can access. These will be shown in the channel list with a padlock. In other words, in order for someone to be able to access the private channel, they have to be able to view all of the other channels in the team. You can't create a private channel and exclude the members of that private channel from seeing anything else in the team. Okay, so now on to chats themselves. In each channel, you can start a new threaded conversation by typing into the text box at the bottom. If you want to reply to a previous message, just select the small reply option that appears underneath the message itself. You can also react to a previous message by hovering over the message, by hovering your mouse over the message and selecting one of the options that appears. Do note that if you're using Teams on a mobile device, and I have an example screenshot here, the reply option is quite small, and the new conversation option is more prominent down on the right. So be careful that you select reply rather than starting a new thread if you intend to reply to a previous message. When composing a new message, you can format your thread by clicking the small icon with a paintbrush here, and then you can add the usual bold, italic, underline, as well as paragraph, bullets, and pull quotes. If you want your thread to really stand out, you can make it an announcement. Announcements have a more prominent headline and have the option to add a background image. You can liven up conversations by adding in emojis and searching for what you want. Or by adding GIFs. And you can even add stickers, including memes. By default, you won't be notified about new posts in a channel. You can change that using the Channel Notifications option at the top of the screen. This default setting of not being notified can mean that someone may not notice something you've posted that you want them to see. You can force them to receive a notification by @ing them. You type the @ symbol and then start typing their name. This means they'll then receive a notification from the Teams app, and after a while, if they've not responded, they'll receive an email from Teams saying that someone is trying to reach them. A little trick you can use to help with readability when @ing someone is to start typing their name, select them from the box that appears, and then backspace to delete their surname. As long as their name remains highlighted in this color, they will still receive the notification, but it means the message is easier to read as it doesn't have their full name showing. Also at the whole team. This means that all team members receive a notification. I would suggest using this sparingly as you don't want to overload everyone with excessive alerts. If you have Teams installed on your mobile device, I would strongly suggest setting quiet hours, as shown in this example screenshot. You can access this from the menu in the mobile app that appears in the top left corner. Quiet hours means that you can set times that Teams should not alert you, so when you're not working, for example. I mentioned previously that sometimes you may want to communicate with some people over a shorter time period and therefore don't want to create a team for that purpose. To do this, you can initiate a private chat, either one-to-one or with several people. These can be anyone in Sadler's Wells. It doesn't have to be the same people that are in the same teams as you. To start a new private chat, just go to the small pencil icon at the top. I have to admit, it took me ages to find where this icon was. You then start by typing the name of the person you wish to chat with, or several people if you want it to be a group chat. Everyone you send this message to will get a notification as soon as you post the message. You also get many of the same options as you do with channel conversations. You can add some formatting, you can add GIFs, stickers, etc. You can't format the chat as an announcement, however, and I would also suggest there's little point at @ing somebody, as they'll be getting a notification from this chat by default. You do have the option of setting delivery options, including setting this message as urgent, which will notify someone every 2 minutes for 20 minutes, although I'd suggest only doing this in an absolute emergency. If something's that important, I'd suggest finding them in the building or phoning them. You can view any previous chats you've had by selecting the chat option on the left-hand side. Okay, that's everything for this session. In the next session, we'll take a deeper look at Teams and cover video calling, accessing files through Teams, and other plugins like Planner and OneNote. If you have any questions about Teams, just let us know. There's also a wealth of training material directly from Microsoft available in the Well of Knowledge intranet site. If you have any comments about the session, just drop me a line or leave a comment on this video in stream. Please also let me know if you found the session useful. Again, drop me a line or like the video on stream. Thank you for taking the time to take part in the session. See you next time.